Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
We are at Friday, August 29th. I'm not seeing any red folders, which is kind of nice. So it should be a relatively calm day today. A couple of orange folders, but I don't pay a whole lot of attention to them. They may have a little bit of an effect on the British pound and the CAD. But for right now, I'd say for the most part, it's going to be a pretty quiet morning. And as usual on Fridays, a lot of times if you're profitable for the week and you don't give it all back on Friday, that's just my suggestion. That I find that a lot of times if I'm profitable during the week and I trade on Fridays, more often than not, I give it back than I do to increase just because of the volatility, because a lot of the institutions are taking their profits, and a lot of times they drive the markets in different directions than what you think is going to go. And then next thing you know, you're underwater and wondering why I didn't just take an early vacation for the week.
Al, if I may, I just had a look on my FX book. There is one high folder on there for the CAD at 8:30
okay.
Eastern Standard this morning.
At what time? I missed that. What time?
8:30.
8:30. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
8:30, and okay, so we'll mark that on our CAD charts. If you look at next year, I was looking at a CAD chart earlier, I think.
Yeah, sometimes the two are a little bit different, my FX book and Forex Factory, but so I thought I'd give it a check.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you brought that. A lot of times I don't look at the Forex Factory. I don't know why I don't, but sometimes it's just another thing to do that I just don't want to. So that's all I can say about that. Right now I'm looking at our Hercules chart. I'm not seeing a lot of real strong consistency. New Zealand dollar seems to be relatively strong. The US dollar on the higher time frame seems to be in the upper third. Again, I like to look and see what's in the upper third on the 30-minute, which is the upper right-hand quadrant here, and then see how many will align on the bottom. Right now I'm looking at the Swiss is relatively weak on the lower time frames. Although that was, I was looking earlier at a CAD Swiss. The Swiss was real strong. The CAD was real weak across the board. That seems to be flipping around a little bit. So we're gonna have to change our philosophy on that one perhaps a little bit. Aussie yen, as I'm not seeing anything that's real common across the board.
Patrick's suggesting Aussie Swiss.
Aussie Swiss. Okay, let's take a look at the Aussie Swiss. Yeah, and you guys, a lot of times, I really appreciate when you guys give us some suggestions to take a look at, because sometimes you're looking at some things that I'm just not seeing, and it's always nice to have that. That's what this Hawkeye room is all about: is to collaborate, share ideas. You guys, more eyes on. We're all looking at the same type of things, and more eyes are always better. So, thank you, Patrick, for that. And we'll take a look and see if there's anything here. It looks like it is coming up on I'm on a 15-minute chart. And we have right now we're pretty much right at a 15-minute blue line. So this is a significant line to be looking at. So I'm going to mark this. You can see my fib zones here. At 65.46 is going to be a blue 15-minute line. Just a minute. And if you're on MT4 and don't have trading view, you can just mark these things on your MT4 charts. It'll give you the same information that way. We have that one, and I have a red zone down below. And that's where one came in. It looks like this thing is trying to come back down into right now it's in this between the red, and it's kind of basically what this is. This is pretty much an overshoot of the down move. And we have green zone right up on top here. I like marking the three zones that are somewhat surround the price, where the price is. So we have a green zone up here at 66.09. We have a blue zone, which is at 66.46. And another red zone here, it's red, at 66.84. And just to help lessen the complication factor of this all, we have our other 5-minute zones, but you can just as easily just take your Fibonacci and draw this with the standard Fibonacci range that we usually have. And that will determine your upper 25% and your lower 25%. And you'll find out that if you do that, you're going to be encompassing 2 of your 2-minute zones inside this. Just so you kind of know that that's kind of how it works. It's within a pip or two. It's close enough to be able to trade it that way. There's the upper 25. Let's mark that in red. And then this area up here would be an overshoot area. And actually, this is really it. As we see, the price is coming down. It crossed the blue line, came back down. Right now, it's coming up to retest this area right here. This is really an overshoot of the down move. Overshoot meaning that it overshot the blue line and actually went down quite a bit. It went down almost halfway into this red zone. So this is actually now looking more to be a short. Now that it crossed the blue line, coming back up, it's coming up to retest it. Just move this out of the way just a little bit here. And I'm going to take this off. So right now, this is, this whole area up here would be, I would consider this to be another support area. So in other words, once was support is now resistance. Once was resistance is now support. So this thing is right now, I would be looking at a, oh, why didn't I do that? Wrong one. On this. So now this would be considered a red zone up there. Okay, so now what I'm looking at right now, I'm looking to see if it can come up and retest this blue line and maybe give us an entry to go short. Aussie is, right now we have a 5-0 split on the Aussie Swiss. Aussie is a strong currency. We're looking to take it short, but we need to get this pullback being done on this pullback. So we'll go to our 5-minute chart.
Al, just so you're aware, we do have Eden's in the room and he's good to go. He'll let us know when he's got something going on.
Okay, you were reading my mind. I was just thinking, I wonder if Eden's in the room. I was just about to ask you if you that.
Yeah, he's here.
All right, good. So right now I'm on the 5-minute chart, and you can see, take a look and see where the middle, this 25% little line, this little hash, you're probably going to see that there's going to be, when I click on this, you'll probably see that there's going to be, well, let's see, here's our green. Here's our red line right here. Here's our red 5-minute. Actually, I mean, it'd be on 2 minutes to tell you what I'm going to tell you here. There's a red 5-minute. Oh, what happened? Oh, come on. Sometimes I just lost all my chart. I did. Crap. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I just did, but I just lost all my markers here. I need a little bit of time. Team blue. This is significant. We have a 15-minute green down here. We'll just work on these two.
Were you doing Aussie Swiss or Aussie Yen?
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, no, did it change? Oh,
yeah.
What's
Yeah,
going on
your
here?
Aussie, I don't even know where your Aussie Swiss went.
All right, maybe that's what happened here. We went Aussie Swiss, right?
That's right, yeah.
No, there we go. I didn't lose it.
There you are.
Jeez. I didn't even know how I did that. I don't know how
I don't
did
know
that.
either, but there it is.
All right, well, good. Everything's right back to where it was. Okay, we're looking at coming up here. So let me go to my 5-minute chart down here. Get my 5-minute chart up here. And you can see it's coming on up to retest this area right in here. This is our 15-minute blue line. So I can screw that down just a little bit so you can see the line. Now, if this thing comes up and tags it, now we know we've got the confirmation that this thing's starting to trend on down. It's actually going sideways. You can see where it's going sideways. It did get all the way down to the 50% level of these two blue zones here. And here's a red, here's a green, or another 5-minute green area. It's right here. Get that marked. 5 minutes green. There we go. Now we're going to see how this thing's going to play out here. So we have some strength. Right now we're looking at the Aussie's a 5 and a 0 spread. The Aussie's strong. So that means that right now the Aussie, we're looking at the Aussie is getting stronger, but I don't think I'm not convinced it's going to break out of the top of this. If we get this, if it comes up here and the Aussie's still strong, I cannot take it short unless it starts to flip around where the Swiss starts getting stronger. But right now I'm looking at, this is just a pullback. And if you look at this on a wider scale, this is actually probably, we have a nice little area here. We have a nice little drop over here. It came up, it retested about halfway, came back down, retested this way, to this point, and now it's coming on up to retest the A part. So this is actually a nice little triangle, but it broke out of the top of here, but we also have another little triangle that's actually developing into this area. Oops, wrong tool. Let's see. Let's up the grade from on this. Style. Let's make that array. Yeah. Well, anyway, right now we're seeing that we have this high here, we have a low. It did break this triangle, but now it's coming right up into this little blue zone. And that's going to be, it's going to have to get through that. And more than likely what I would suspect it's going to do, you're going to see a little bit of a poke up above this blue line, come back down, and then it may come down and retest this lower area down here. But we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But right now we have nothing. The Aussie was strong. So I don't want to be taken long up here into this supply zone. I'll wait and see if it reverses back down, and then maybe if we get a wick up, can't close down, and we start getting these things to change around again, we may be able to get a nice little short coming down into like this area, or maybe even as low as the 50%, maybe even pretty much looking for the blue to this red line down here. And that's 21 pips in between there. So that could be a nice little move. It's not quite ready yet, but we are going to take a look at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a alert on when it breaks this trend line, which is going to be right about where the blue line is. You see how these things oftentimes overlap? That's an energy point right in there. We'll see if it tags it. I'll put an alert on it, and we'll move on. And let's see what else we have here. Let's go back to our Hercules and see CAD strong, CAD strong, CAD. Let's go back to that CAD Swiss again. Aussie Swiss. Let's go to the CAD Swiss. Swiss, yeah, CAD Swiss. Here we go. I drew this out earlier. 50 minutes. We have some, there's our lines here. We have a 15 minute. Let's see. Let's make this, let's take this one off right now. We have our 50-minute blue line. This is at 7107. It's right there. And we have 2-minute green, which is up here at 7170. And right now it's trying to fight through. We just got a 15-minute close above here. We have the CAD strong. The CAD is the first currency of the pair. We're looking to take this thing possibly long. So let's get this thing onto a lower. So right now we have confirmation on the 15-minute chart, 15-minute candle, and we have the close above. So let's not dawdle with this one. Let's see where we're at on the 5-minute chart. And right now I'm looking to see where the 5-minute fibs are. So right now we have a green zone right up here. And right now it's right about 7 pips. Let's go to our 2-minute here. Here is the break. It's up at 7. Now, right now we can set up a long trade. CAD is strong. CAD is strong. This is a nice little flag pattern. It's kind of nice strong up. Here's a little wedge coming in here. If it breaks, it may not come all the way. There might be enough strength here to where it may not break through. It may head on up to this another red line. So we have a little wedge. Here's a rally, base, rally. Came back down, retested this. It hasn't broken through that part yet. I'm gonna move this one up a little bit here. Move this one over. There's our wedge. If we get a close up, if this thing can close above this green line here, I don't think we're gonna get the pullback on this one right now. Nice big spread here. You can probably take this thing long. And so wait and see what how this candle closes. This is a 1-minute candle. We just got the close. 48.50. This is the 5-minute candle. When this candle closes right here in another couple seconds, 23 seconds. If we get a close above that green line, I can take that one. Now I might risk the chance of taking early and have to come all the way back here and retest that, but right now this thing looks strong enough to where I'm going to take that risk. Got my trade set up, 7 pips, 15 pips. 2% risk. There's my lot size. Wait till this candle closes, and when it closes, we're just going, there it goes. We close above the green line, and I'm just going to do a buy market order. And my target is going to be up here. That's my next red line is my target. And if it comes down and retests here, I will take it long again if everything still seems strong. So I'm in this trade right now. I like this with the fact that on the 1-minute, we have a 7-0 spread. On the 5-minute, we have a 7-0 spread. We have 7-0. This basically, the CAD is strong against the Swiss on all 3 time frames. And our moving averages are in the right order on the 5 and on the 1. Now we do have a little bit of a situation on the 15 we have to be careful of. Here is our 62 moving average, which is right above where our target is. There's probably a very good chance that this is going to come up and test this area. So, but we should be out of this trade by that time because it should already be hitting our target. We do have a little bit of an area right in this area right in here where we're going to be getting And you can see right, this is the same area where the moving average is encompassing that. This is going to be a little bit of a retest area, or we call this. This would probably show up as a Sherlock supply zone, and that's going to be just right above this little. See how this it came straight down, based. It has a little strong move down, came back up and retested this area in here. It's probably going to. I would suspect it's going to come up and retest that area once again. That's on the 15-minute chart. Let's go back over to our 5 minutes since we're in this thing, see how it's doing. Take this wedge out of the way so you can see what we're doing here. Here's a strong move up, a little bit of a basing, but some sellers came in right on this candle. Some sellers came in, buyers came back, took over. We got the close above this one. Let's see where it's, that's not 7, 15, 5. Let me get my fib lines on here on this one. Here's my red 2-minute fib. This is where this is basically my target on this next move up. It's red. Here's our 2-minute green. Here's our 2-minute red. These are 7 pips apart. These are where my range is. Why I use 7 pips for targets. Now I'm okay taking a 5 pip. Let's see, green. 2-minute green right there. And that's at 71.14. Our target's up here around 71.21. We are profitable. It now just took over our spread. Now we have a 2-point spread on this thing. So that's why I took 2 pips just to be able to get back to break even after I did a market order. Still looking good down here. The CAD is still strong to the Swiss. And we'll put a target on here. If it comes up and tags that and it doesn't close me out, I'm going to be over here to close it out myself. I'll put an alert on that mark right there. And now we can move on to the next. We can see how our Aussie Swiss is doing. We never did get into this yet because we're looking for a close above the 15 or a, let's see, the Swiss is still weak. Remember, on this Aussie, on the CAD Swiss, the CAD is strong, the Swiss is weak. Swiss is all the way down here to 0. So we want to trade to the weakness of the Swiss. So we go to the Aussie Swiss, that still remains the same. The Swiss is still weak. Now this is just a pullback on here. Actually, it's well, actually not. This Swiss is strong. The Aussie's first currency of the pair, so that's where the strength is. The question is, well, can it break through this area right now and keep on going up higher? And that we just have to wait and see. We'll have to see if we can get a 5-minute close above this 15-minute trend line here. We did get a higher low on this bounce up here. Here's a little wedge. Here's our anchor. Here's a hit. Here's our 3rd hit. Actually, I like this one better. Here's the low. Here's a higher low. Here's a higher low. Here's our trend line. So this was just a near hit. It wasn't really. So this trend line is still valid. And we're looking to see what's going to happen with this part. Meanwhile, look at the Aussie, the CAD Swiss. Everything's looking good on this trade. And you see anything on your indexes, Eva?
I'm just actually looking at a German. I've set a trade on it, but it's not. It's going to be a while before it comes down. I've put a pending order for a sell. but it's just retracing and meandering about slowly for the time being. So there's really not a whole lot to see unless you want to see how I drew it. But for now, it's just kind of hanging in there, just doing its thing. And the same with the UK. I've started not just looking on the 5 minute. If the 5 minute isn't giving me what I'm looking for with the MMAs, then I start looking on the 15 to see if I can find something. So I found something on the 15 for the German 30. I set it up, and lo and behold, all of a sudden it was doing the same thing on the 5. So, but now it's just in a retracement mode. So there's really nothing to see here as far as that one goes. So they're all just kind of mixed in, all of the indices right now. Their MMAs are all the pretzel formation, as I like to call it. They're all over the place. So really not a
Until
whole
let
lot.
me go and bring Eden over. Actually, I see a couple of chat messages here. Oh, let's do it. Let me go and bring Eden over. Eden, are you ready to come on over to show us some things with your gold? Let's see if I can. Let me bring. You've got him in twice here. Which one do I move over? All right, promote. If I get the wrong one, Eden will switch you back over here. We have our little guest speaker here today. Ian's been trading with us for a while. He's been trading the gold, and he's been very successful with that. So we thought we'd bring him on over into the panel and see if he can share some of what his expertise is with that. He's not moving over for some reason. Promote. There he goes. There's one, two. Yes, no. There he is. He's got his microphone, and you can. There he is.
Can you unmute yourself, Edens, or can you unmute him?
There you
Okay.
go. There you
Hello,
go.
can you hear me? You guys hear
We
me?
do. Welcome to the other side here.
Hey, how you guys doing? How's everybody doing?
We're doing
Doing
great.
We're doing good. How are
That's
you?
awesome. I'm great. I'm great. You know, another day, another dollar, right? You know, we woke up today, another day, and we're already winning. So every day we wake up, we're already winning, right?
That's
There you
right.
go. What's your take on gold? It looks like it wants to break to the upside here.
Yes, gold right now, it's faking people out. Hold on, let me pull up my chart. So
Oh,
I'm
that's a
trying
shock.
to.
That's a shocker.
Yeah, it actually doesn't want to go up. It's looking like it wants to go down. Long term, short term, yes, it's gonna fake some people out by going up. That's what it wants to do right now. Before it looks like it wants to do that before market opens, and then shoot on down. I'm trying to exit this out. I don't know how do I get this out.
Al, can he share? Can he share his chart so he can show?
Yeah. Let me stop sharing. You know, share your charts there, Eden.
Yeah, just give me. I'm trying to figure out how to. Give me 1 second, then I'll let you know when I'm ready to show.
Take your time. While you're doing that, I'll keep an eye. Ooh, there. Whoa, what happened there? Well, nice. Looks like the CAD just flipped sides with
Oh,
the.
right. It's not
with the
news.
Swiss. That was at 8. That was at 8:30. You said that's only 8
Yeah,
o'clock.
8:30. So I don't know why it's doing that now. Maybe in anticipation.
Well, remember I was saying too with the Aussie, with the was the CAD Swiss. We had was it CAD Swiss or Aussie Swiss? Aussie's okay. With the Aussie Swiss, we had a blue 15 line, and it had to come up and break and close. But remember, I said that the Aussie was strong. The Aussie is still strong to the Swiss. So the Swiss is still showing weakness on the 5-minute chart. But we did get a flip on the CAD Swiss, which I find somewhat interesting.
Can you guys excuse me? I'll be right back.
I'm sorry, you're cut out there, Eva. That was. And we're still okay. Remember, I did say that if it did break there, we said we could still take another position if it comes back here to the 15. So we can take a position in this area. We look at our price action that we're looking at. We have this at the close above. We had to close above the green. It can come back to the 2 area, come back and take another trade in this area. Now it may not get back. My thinking was it may not get back there because of the weakness so much. So I took it on the close, the 5-minute close above the green line, looking for the target 1, and then target 2 would be up around in this area, and target 3 would be the retest of the new line. So this is about what I'm looking at for this. It came up. It was a little bit of a wedge pattern here, but right now we're still good. We can still take another position, but I'm even going to take put another buy limit down here if it comes down into the 7108 area.
I'm back.
I thought, yeah, I saw you started talking and that you were gone.
Well, there was a lost individual at my door, so they kept
Oh,
ringing the doorbell. I thought I better get it.
okay. We want to be of service to our people that are in need.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean,
So now if it comes back here, so I'll take another position back here. I'm going to be using the blue line. So I want to get a fill. So it's pretty much got to come down below there. Now, if it comes back, I'm going to put an alert on this blue line right here. Because if it comes in, it types that line, so it's still going to have to come through in order to get my fill on my limit order. And that way, and if I see where these things are flipping back the wrong way, or I don't have the spread, then I'll cancel that order. But right now, if it comes back, I'll be in that trade. So buy limit. And my target is going to be pretty much the same as the green line area. I'm not expecting to get this one filled, to be honest with you, but if it does, it does. If it does, that's what we're going to do. Take a look and see what gold's doing here. 15-minute. Let me know when you're ready there, Eden.
Okay, yeah, I'm good. I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and you go and share your screen and tell us what you're seeing.
Okay.
It's all yours.
No problem. No problem. I'll share my screen here.
And this is what we're trying to do in this Hawkeye community is that now you guys are part of our family. You're part of our community. And as you're seeing things and get comfortable and have some things to share, we're going to bring you on over to the panelists and let you share what you have. We'll check out with you before we do this to make sure that we're all on the same page. We don't want to be mixing up a whole lot of different strategies, but we do want to be able to share some things that other people are doing that, or especially if they're finding out that they're being successful at doing it. So go ahead, and Eden, go ahead and take over.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
We do, yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, as you can tell right here, okay, so I keep my charts very basic, very simple. I do use the RSI, as you guys can see on the bottom, but the RSI is not really, it's not something to help me to get in and out of, it really helped me to get out of trades. It's not really, the RSI, I'm not using it to help me get into trades. I'm using it to help me get out of trades. You know, so once I see the RSI is like, you know, at a very high level, like an 84, that's my highest level, or the lowest level is 16 down here. So it helps me get out of trades because, you know, the pullback is coming pretty soon. You know, once it's hitting the RSI and is, you know, going very deep in the RSI, a pullback is coming soon, you know. So that's what I use the RSI for, to help me get out of trades. But I like to keep my charts very simple. As you guys can tell, I have the red line, what you guys seeing right here is the I call it Mama. That's the 200 moving average. You know, it's a very simple moving average. And then the black one you see is the 50 moving average. And that right there is a very strong moving average. Once, you know, everything gets below the 50, below the 200, that means this is a downtrend. As you guys can tell, everything is starting to move underneath Mama. So this is letting me know this is going to go in a downtrend. You know, the candlesticks are underneath Mama is downtrend. You only want to look for sales. If everything is above Mama, right? Like as a prefer, like right here, everything gets above mama, right? Breaks through mama, and now this is now uptrend, as you guys can tell. So 85, I want to say 85% of traders get things wrong because of the trend. Yeah, you can counter trend here and there, but you got to know, okay, this is a counter trend trade. If you don't know it's a counter trend trade, then you're defeating the purpose, So if you're in an uptrend, if you want to counter trend down, and get some shorts, you got to know, hey, listen, I might not want to be in this trade for too long, or it's gonna flip on you real quick. So right now, this is what's telling me. It's telling me this is wants to go down right here. I got some down selling pressure. The orange one you guys see right here, this is the 8 moving average, right? And the blue one is the 20 moving average. The two ones I like to focus on is the red one and the blue one. The 20 tells me everything because usually right here, as you can tell, this is the 15-minute chart. It's gonna go down to this pressure right, the support, and then once it sinks in, it's gonna come back up and touch the blue. As you guys can tell, every time it comes up and touch the blue right here, the 20 moving average, it sinks down. It sinks right down. So there's some times where yes, it could break above the 20 and then go test out the 50. But usually when that happens, it comes back down again to retest the floor. Then it breaks back up again to go touch the ceiling. So like, as the market, like if it wants to go up, it takes a while before it starts to go up. It's not going to go up automatically. It takes a while before it truly changes the trend. So right now, as I'm seeing on this chart, is sales. I only want to look for sales. So once I start to see, market opens, I know this is going to come down a little bit and then rise back up maybe to the 50. And then I know right here in this area is what I want to sell. And this area, these two areas right here is where I want to look for sales. But right now is, it's playing around. So, but yeah, like right now, this trend, it's sell. You want to look for shorts because everything is below the 200 moving average.
Edens, I've got a couple questions for you. So now what is your gold moving average? What you've got the 20, the 50, and the 200. What is the gold? What do you have the gold one set at?
So you say, well, what is the goal?
The gold one. There's a gold. You've got a gold moving average. What number is that?
Oh, the gold. This one right here, it's gold, orange, but this is the 8 moving average.
8.
This lets me, this lets me know when the trend is on a power trend. Like when things are like moving down real hard, and if it's not breaking the 8, that means it's a power trend going down or going up. So the 8 moving average is basically letting me know when stuff is in a power trend, like it's just going down, shooting down. It might go up a little bit, but shoots down again, or vice versa when it's going up.
Okay. And now do you always trade 15 minutes for gold on the 15-minute chart?
Well, I look to see the trend, to see what's going on with the 15-minute. But I like to hop into trades. I'm looking at the 5-minute.
I see.
Yeah. But like I look at the high time frame just to see where my trend is at, what's going on, seeing the movements, and then I'll hop into the 5 minutes to hop into a trade. But right now, I'm not really seeing anything as of yet. Everything is just, like I said, being stagnant. So it should be moving pretty soon. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I'll tell you what we'll do is keep an eye on that. And if it does change while we're in the session here, let us know. We'll switch back over and see how you play this one out.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. And let's see here. And let me.
One other question. Sorry, okay. since you're on there. These moving average values that you have, is this strictly for gold, or do you use them on all your trades?
All my trades.
It doesn't matter what the asset is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, great. Good to know. Okay, thank you.
And these are these simple moving averages or exponential?
Simple. I keep them very simple.
Keep simple moving average. Okay. All right. So there's a little bit of a difference there about what we do, but that's there again. It's like there's nothing wrong with having something different, a little bit different. The biggest thing is that find out what works for you, what keeps your emotions in check, and where your tolerance is for your pullbacks and things like that. That's what's really important.
Exactly.
Again, we talked about that BTE indicator, that between the ears indicator, and you have to be able, you have to be able to keep control of that, because if you can't control that, you're going to be all over the place. You're going to be getting trades that you should be staying in. You're not going to be getting into trades that you should be taking. all because of that. And that's where your comfort level comes into what you're comfortable with. And that's especially with the drawdowns. That's where the biggest thing is. Don't trade more than you can, that you are comfortable losing. And don't be thinking that, oh, if I lose $100, gosh, that's, I mean, if you're losing $100 on a trade and it's going to make a difference whether or not you're going to be able to feed your family, then you're over trading. If you lose $100 and it's part of your nest egg for retirement and it's something that you're not going to miss, then you know that you're okay as far as, but don't try and equate it. So, oh, I just lost $100. Gosh, I could have went and bought another tool or something like that. And that's not the way you have to look at these things.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm going to give yours a try. I'm going to do a bit of experimentation with them. I mean, you and I both basically use the same type of thing. We both do the RSI and we both use our moving averages. So yours are just tweaked a little differently than mine, but I think I'm going to give them a try and practice and see how that works for me and what I'm doing. So much appreciated. But yeah, just let us know when something's shaping up according to your strategy.
No problem. Definitely will.
Okay. So hang with us there, Ian. I'm going to take over the charts here and I'll see what we have going on, if we have anything going on in this other end of the world. The gold seems, the soul's kind of, okay, everybody should see my charts now, I believe. And let's see how our...
Yes.
Okay, so right now with this CAD trade that we had, remember we had the strong move up. We had, and I did say that, and it looks like we're just bouncing right off of this blue 15-minute line again. So we had the close above, it went up higher, it broke the green, went up halfway to the red, and it came down and pulled back. And right now I should be able to actually take another position. Now the CAD Swiss is not, we do have a, let's see, I'm on a 5-minute. We now have the 3-point spread. So it never did fill me. So I'm just going to let that go since I'm already in the trade. If I wasn't in the trade, I would probably do a market order right now because it's now, you had the bounce starting to get stronger again. And then my stop would be, again, my stop is still way down here with the, now this is a stop. This stop here is off of the first position I took. If I get filled with this, I can still use the stop. But if this was my first position, then I'd be using this for a second position, as long as the trend still seems to be holding. And so here's a low, here's a hit. And so from a trending standpoint, this is what we're looking at. And I would like to keep my stop a little bit below this area here. Especially now, if I do get filled with this, my average trade position is going to be right about in here. And then with that, my stop, I can use a 50 pip stop. Here's where my average entry is. I can still take the 15 pip stop, which would put me all the way down to pretty much right around this pivot area right in here. Right now, I still feel very good about this trade. I also almost actually want to take another position on this. But we'll see if it comes down and breaks through here. We did get the bounce. Swiss is still weak. And this is just a little bit of a pullback. We can check our 15-minute chart and see how the numbers on that one look with a Hercules. And we still have a 5.0 spread on the 15 minutes. So that tells me that this thing is still going to be a long for the CAD.
Don't forget.
And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Everything's still in play. Yes, Eva.
Yeah, don't forget. Pardon me. Don't forget about the news coming out at 8:30 for the CAD.
At 8:30. Oh yeah, CAD. Let me mark that on the charts here. I like to put the vertical on where the news is, so I don't forget. And usually try to do about 5 minutes before the news announcement. And I have one little here that says news, so I know that. But here's the area where we had the nice close above, nice move up. This is actually just a retracement right now. And in fact, to close above the blue line's a really strong line. So if it can close above that, it's going to be another strong, it's going to need a lot of strength to be able to get through to have any significant, right about like that. And we'll see if it gets me filled. Now we are getting the flip here on the 1 minute, but that's not unusual for a pullback. And I see we have a nice little, this is almost the beginning of a little M. We had a nice move up, had a pivot low, came back up, retested this area. And it's actually forming another little wedge right up in this area. But so up here, this is my target, my first target, pretty much the red line. And so we wait. And meanwhile, let's see, do we have anything else going on here?
Is there anything?
See how this thing came right on up to our 15-minute, right? This 2078.22 level right here. Remember, the Japanese yen only has a 2-digit as opposed to a 4-digit extension on it. So, and I also find out that oftentimes the 5-minute chart works better for our 7-pip target. You'll see these are pretty much 7 pips between our 15-minute and our 5-minute. That's basically our 7-pip move. So you can almost slide it down a time frame for the Japanese pairs. You can almost go from a 15, rather than trading off a 1-minute chart for the entry, your 7-pip zones, you can almost just use the 5-minute for that same purpose. And now this is 21 pips between the two 15-minute lines. I also want to make a reminder that today's the last day. We're probably going to, as the plan is, this is the last day we'll be in this Zoom room. Starting on Monday, we're going to be in the AP Live. It's going to be kind of like a Zoom room, but it's going to be AP Live. And we're going to have our own little channel, and we just have our own little sessions here but you're going to have to subscribe to the Hawkeye live trade room in order to be able to come in here after today.
So you have to change your tools before midnight tonight in order.
So if you have a bronze pass, and you want to come in here Monday, you're gonna have to make that change before midnight tonight to the Hawkeye trade room. Or if you have a bronze pass and you want to keep your bronze links that you use for whatever it is you're looking at, then you have to upgrade to a silver or a gold to be able to get another license to be able to come into our trade room. And I hope hope we don't lose anybody in this transition process, but that's what you're gonna have to do. That's just the nature of the beast, but that's gonna give you some really nice opportunities. We've got some really interesting things coming down the pike for us in this room. We're just working on some other coaches coming in, and some new techniques, and it's all going to be pretty much technical trading. It's not going to be it's not going to be one of those things where you have a program that you're going to be turning it on and expect everything to be working. This room is pretty much to teach you how to trade, how to trade, how to read the charts, how to determine what's a good trade, what's not a good trade. We're teaching how to fish. And I said, we give you fish. We try to give you a fish every day, but we want you to learn how to fish. So I said, hopefully we won't lose anybody. It's been really fun having everybody in here. And it's just going to grow.
Make sure, guys, that you do the switch before midnight tonight. Otherwise, Monday, you won't be able to get into the room. You'll have to wait another week.
Yeah, and you access this through your back office. There's a little tag on the back office that says AP Live. And then just when you go to the marketplace, selection of what product you want to use, whether it be Gearbox or Variable or Hawkeye or Arrow or whatever else other products are out there. We're just one of those other products. And but like I said, we're not, it's just what it is. We're here to teach everybody how to learn how to trade. This one really isn't a nice little bounce off of here. Not
Actually,
really.
Al, just so you're aware, you don't need to get into the AP Live to switch your tools. You do it as you normally have done it. You get into the AP Marketplace, you hit Switch Tools, and Hawkeye is at the bottom of the tool list.
Correct.
So
yeah,
that's how you switch. You don't have to get into the other. That's when once you switch tools, then in order to get in the room on Monday. That's
right. In order to see what we're doing like we are today, you have to be able to access us through that little tab that says AP Live.
Yeah, but I'm talking about switching tools. First steps first. You got to switch tools in the AP Marketplace.
Correct.
Once you switch tools, then there will be something that will show you how to get into us at the AP Live, AP Social /Live.
No, I haven't actually seen that work. Well, actually, I did see it work at the Ride the Wave event. I was working with Josh on that, on his presentation. I was actually up in another room to access the AP Live, and we sat there and we chatted a little bit, and it does work rather nicely. It just, this is going to be a learning process for me as well. So we'll just have to all learn together here. But it's going to be a nice little format. We're coming up on the news here. It's almost 8:23. I've got this set for 8:25. So right now my trade's still working out. It did have a little bit of a pullback. Never did get me into my second position. That's what I mean by, you can see where it came all the way down to right to that blue line and just stopped. So I never did get my fill on this second position, and that's okay. Oops, change that. Here's our trend line. That's the major trend.
I've got a question for you, Al, from Patrick. Will you be holding the position in this CAD Swiss over the news?
I am. Yeah, I'm in it now. I'm going to hold this one over the news. Actually, I find out more often than not when I'm in a position before the news, oftentimes, and a lot of times it goes against me just before the news, but oftentimes I'm in the right direction initially for the news announcement. Now, that doesn't always hold true, but yeah, I'll hold this. I'm going to be watching it pretty close though. I'm going to be watching it, and I have my stop set, but if I move my stop right here to the red line. This has already had the challenge of the blue line. It already held, so I can modify, just save a few pips on that if it does work against me. I think right now I'm thinking it's more likely, looking at the Hercules, it's more likely to come up here and hit my target. And actually what it might do is come up here and hit that red line. My target is just above this fib, it's 71.21. I'm just gonna move my target here just a little bit because I don't want it to just come up there and not take it out. That'll still give me almost 6 pips. And remember, I did a market order, so I lost 2 pips on the market, and also know that it's going to have to go 2 pips past there. Right now, my target's, I'm right at about 5.6 pips. So if it comes up through, it gets by 7 pips, I should be able to get out of it. But it's got to come up 2 pips up above this red line in order to get this thing to fill. If the price just comes up, it just wicks, it doesn't take me out, I'm just going to click on this little X here to take myself out of the, actually, yeah, take it on this one down here. That's where the entry was. So the fact this one never did fill, I'm just going to close that trade out so I can see what I'm doing here. And the news is at 8:30, so right about, so just before. We'll watch and see what happens here. Still have another, let's see, what time is it? 7. We still another 2 more minutes, pretty much. Here was the hit of the blue line. So we could, if I have taken a market order, I would have been filled down here. And actually, if I had taken that market order right now, I would be, my break-even point would be right about in this area, and I'd already be profitable in the 2 positions. And we'll see what happens. I'm going to move this over just 1 more minute, just so that when the news happens, we can see the candle action.
Now you're just in one of the trades, is that right, Al? You've got another one set.
Right. I'm in the one. I got a 5-minute close above the green line. I did put a second position pending down here if it retraced back, which it did all the way came back to the 2. But I did a limit order at the 15, so that way it had to come through another 2 in order to another 2 pips in order to get me filled. Right. Now I could have been a little bit more aggressive. Maybe put maybe moved it up half the spread or the spread above. That would have got me filled. That would have had me dollar cost average here. But you have to be a little bit careful when you do that, because I mean, right now everything looked really good, but it was starting to flip around a little bit over here on the. I think we did get to about 3-0 spread. So I mean, it was okay to take that trade. But not having the news coming out, I was just being a little bit more cautious with it.
Okay, what do we have? Less than a minute to go.
Yep, and you can see we're now profitable, and see if it drives it on up. And
oh yeah, it goes. Well, let's see if it goes north.
And so here's the 30. So this is the announcement right now.
Excellent, Patrick. He took the trade and made 50, I'm assuming $50 or 50 pips. I'm not sure, but in any event, he took profit. Oh, $50. Right. Awesome.
You see that this between this red and green, you see it came up right about in the middle. If you look at that's at 21. This is at 15. So right about a 14.7 would be 21, I guess. That is 7 pips. So it went pretty much three pips deep in between these 2 levels here. basically went halfway. Now it's coming back and seeing what it's going to do with these moving averages.
It just kills me that more often than not, news, no matter what the news is, red folder, it affects it the opposite way of what the charts show you. Like it obviously shows buy from, you know, your analysis, and it still moves it down, and it was supposed to be good news. So I don't know why it's driving the Canadian down.
I don't think it really makes a difference what the good or bad news is. The institutions already just, they've already got the positions before the announcements ever happen.
Yeah, they got their fingers in there.
They basically came right on up and just made that same level right there where the one is. We had a strong move up, got us into trade, a pullback, and right now it's just basically trading between the 1 and the 2 on the sideways. So right now there's really no real clear direction, but I'm in the trade, so I'm just going to hold my ground with it. Let's see what it looks like on the higher time frame chart. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. And it's still looking okay to me. Still have our 3-point spread on our 5-minute. Have our 5-point spread on our 15. So this tells me it's still in a long position. Let's look at it on our 5-minute chart so we don't drive ourselves crazy. But here's a nice little M. Now this thing, if it comes dead back down and breaks through here, I mean, here's a nice, you can see the M formation sort of starting to develop here. Does that not look like an M? Come back down and maybe retest the trend line. There's our M. And then we may get another option to where we come up and retest this area. That would give us a triple top or double top. And it could go down further. But right now I'm still looking at this as being a target. Look for those M's and W's. You see with this zone where this price was before we even came into the room, it was trading inside this region right here. It came down, came up, wicked up, retested the lower 25, upper 25, base a little bit, broke through. So now this is actually starting. I should probably make this now a green 25 zone. And we can move this one up. And now we're long on this. So the news is done. We can take this off. Clean up the charts a little bit. It wasn't an overly exciting news announcement.
Sorry?
Really, it only moved 7 pips during that whole announcement. It's only 7 pips swing on that.
It's not so bad.
So we're still basically, nothing's really changed right now for us. Now this actually here, now we're looking at a green zone. Now we're looking at coming on up to the next fib zone. So this is really going to be, well, actually we had this, there's our blue line up here. Oh, wait, let me see. Let me get my pips here. Green. $15. 15 blue, green. Yeah. So actually, this is, in all honesty, for our 15 zone, our 15-minute fib lines. This is actually now the upper 25%. And this did come all the way down. It has a nice, this is the area where it left. And now we're looking for, as it comes back up, it could possibly, very possibly retest. Moving averages of crossover, we've got the crossover of the 62. We have green, yellow, purple, so it's a 5, 13. I use 5, 13, and 62. And we're coming into our, and so far still looking all right. Again, you just have to exercise patience, because I do like keeping track and see how the currency is with each other on this. It really does give you a real good indication what direction to be taking the trades. And that's probably one of the hardest things about technical trading is learning the direction. Eden pointed that out, is you want to know where what your direction is. And you can do that in several different ways. We have the RCS tool we use. But the RCS tool only really works on, we can do it on certain indices like the S&P or the US indexes, and look and see how strong the dollar is. Or if you're looking at the German 30, you can use the euro to see how strong the euro is versus the German 30 stock market. But when you start getting into like cryptos and gold and things like that, you can't really always rely on this indicator, because I'm not sure what the correlation is oftentimes. And that's one reason why, I'm guessing that's one reason why, I don't want to speak for Eden, but why he uses the RSI for his direction on the trade. You need something to give you some idea of what the strength is of the move. Another thing we use is, I use this indicator called tab 29, which is another one that I use, and that covers pretty much everything. But that's a rather expensive indicator to use, but it does work pretty well. I try not to do too much with it on here because it's not really something everybody has. So I'm just trying to show how to trade with the tools that we have available to us. We're not looking to sell a lot of tools and all that sort of thing, but the tools that I have are basically pretty basic tools. It just makes things a little bit easier for you, but you can trade without them. And right now, this thing's just sort of stuck there. Let's go and take a look, see if there's anything else to look at here. We see since the announcement, the Canadian dollar has gotten stronger on our lower two time frames. It's about in the middle on the 30-minute, and it's weak on this one. So I went, if the Canadian dollar was strong or weak on all four, then you could maybe go for a little bit more. But usually when, again, a mixed signal here with the strength of the time frames, that's when just go for your 7 pips and be happy with that. And then keep on going. Then look for the next trade. Right now, the euro is in the bottom 3, bottom 2, about in the middle. We could probably trade against the euro, possibly. We may look at maybe like the euro US. That's got a 5-1 spread there, 2-point spread there. Euro, nope, not. Let's take a look at the euro US and just see how it's looking. See if it's bouncing, coming up to any areas that we need to want to pay attention to. Let me duplicate that. Pull up euro US. Eden, how's our gold doing? Any change?
Right now, gold is just being very stagnant. 4 hours is still, underneath mama. So it's looking like it wants to drop, but it's just playing around. So it's basing. So it's just, just give it a little bit more time, and we should get a great trade with gold in a little bit.
All right. Things can happen today?
I think it should happen today or later on. It should happen like in the next hour or so. If not,
Okay.
then it'll happen tomorrow for sure.
You mean Monday?
Yes.
Let's see, 15-minute. Here's our 15-minute range on the Euro US. You can see it's starting to come down into our green 15 zone. I would so here's what we're looking at. We're looking at, I got my 15-minute zones here, and this price right now is at 1721 and 1659. If you want to mark that on your MT4s. Let's draw. Just keep things simple today here. Draw it. So right now we're coming into our lower 25%. This is our upper 25%. And 25% green. Here's our 25% red up top. And here's our playground. So right now it's coming in. Right now, when it's in the green zone, I don't want to be taking it short when it's in the green zone. When it's up in the red zone, I don't want to be taking it long when it's in the red zone. Once it breaks the green, then this becomes red, and then we're looking at the next region would be down here.
Me out for a moment. I've got a question for Edens from Patrick.
Okay.
Are you anticipating a short on gold, Edens?
Yes, I'm definitely anticipating a short on gold. I'm waiting for it to drop, 50%. Then it's gonna retrace. Once it retrace, I'm in the gold trade.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And these basically are zones right now that we're looking at for this Euro US. So as if it comes down and it comes into here and breaks here, then this is going to turn, well, that's going to be red. So right now it's coming into the area of indecision, because it's coming right up into this strong 15-minute line. Let me take this one off here. We don't need this one right now. And I go to my 5-minute chart and see where my thirds are on my 5-minute. And you can see like right here is our green, and then our red should be right up in here. So we're gonna mark those. And 5-minute green. Basically, all we're doing is we're just trying to find out which 21 pip range is this thing playing in. And we're just trying to get 7 pips out of that. That's really all we're doing. As I go for 7 pips, I just try and take larger lot sizes. And I go for smaller moves and just try and get in, get out, and get an opportunity to get back in again. Before I get too far there, let's see, how's our catch switch trade doing? Still hanging in there. Set an alert on that one. Make sure I know when it gets up to my target zone. I don't want to have it get up there and then not be able to take my profit on it. So right now, this is really in no man's land. We're in a green zone to buy. So but it's sort of heading on down. Right now, the dollar is second currency of the pair. It's showing more strength, but they're really kind of fighting right. There's no real clear definition as far as even on the 5-minute. So even if it comes down to here, if it stays like that, I can't take that trade unless I get the split. Now, what is possible to be looking at is that the euro just got stronger. So basically, I want to see a close above here or see a close below the 15-minute green before I can do anything. But that will determine my playground. It did come down into the green area, bounced back up, closed above, but then it came right back down and went even deeper. Now, I like this little candle right here. You see that big wick on that candle. So that's a nice little pivot. And so it's actually forming a little bit of a wedge right down here at the bottom. Here's a high, here's a low, here's a actually, I did this wrong way. Let's take it this way. Let's see.
And Al, just to clarify for Patrick and anybody else who wants to hop in or thinking about hopping to the gold trade, 15-minute. If you guys look at the 15-minute chart, it has to close and open underneath 1784.78, 1784.78 for you to go short. Once it closes underneath that and opens underneath that, then that's a good time to go short and gold. But until then, guys, stay out of gold. But right now, it's actually like hovering that line. It's like bouncing on top of it, going underneath, coming up back on top. So it has to close and open underneath that line for you to go short on gold.
Right, and that line just happens to be my green fib line. My
awesome.
green, that's 17. I got 1785 on that. Let me see if that's actually the line itself. Let me make sure. 15-minute. 1785.26 is the line. You said 1784 what?
Yeah, 1784.78. So it's about 1785.
So we're talking 50 cents difference on a $1,700, $1,800 price point.
Yes.
So
yes.
we're basically talking the same relative area there.
Exactly.
And you want a 15-minute close below, which we actually have that right here.
Yes.
If you get it there, we got it here.
Right there, yeah, exactly.
And what's your target, Eden?
Yeah, and I wanted to just point out too, as you can almost see an M formation building because the last time where it rose up, you can see it didn't close above where the last. Well, let me see your point. Where exactly? You see how it says 15-minute green, on your chart, Al?
Yep.
Yes. If you go a little bit to the left, slide to a little more to the left. A little more to the left, right there. Just go up right there. You see that? You see the top of that, and then if you go to the next, it created a lower high, as you can tell right there. Yeah, that one right there. So that indicates right there it's building a short. You know, it's not closing above that higher high. It's not making a new higher high. It's making a lower high.
Actually, let me take this out here. I said, look, here's what I'm seeing with this. Here's the pivot high. There's your first hit.
Yes.
There's a trend line. If it comes back up, tests the trend line, comes back down and closes below. Actually, it came up here. Well, actually, that was the first hit of the trend line.
Mm-hmm. And
it was rejected. Now, if it comes back up, hits the trend line, comes back down, and then closes into this area.
Yes.
And I'm going to be looking at this thing is going to be a short.
Yeah, and it'll be going short for a while. For sure.
Yeah.
Just a question, Edens, are you waiting for it to hit the trend line again? Are you waiting for it to retrace? Or if it closes below, you'll get into the trade regardless?
If it closes below, I'm gonna hop in with like a 1% of my account size, and then if it does retrace, I always like to go for Me personally, I like to hop into positions, because I always feel like I can get a better position. So I always go in with a really low lot size the first time. Then if I can get another retracement or another entry, I will, and then I'll go in 2% on that one. So I'll double up on the next position I do decide to go into.
Okay, gotcha.
And then once my second or the first position gets into profit, I'll close the second or the first position that I entered in and leave the second one in. So the better entry I'll leave, and then I'll close out the other earlier entry that I got into.
Okay.
So I always protect my margin, your margin and everything like that.
Okay, well that makes sense. Yeah.
So basically, you're taking you're scaling in with positions is what you're doing.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And that's that's a real valid technique. It keeps it keeps that emotional inventory at bay.
Exactly, because I low-key wanted to get me into a better position. So like if it does go into negative, I'm like, yes. This, then I'll just look at the charts to make sure it's not switching trends on me, or it's not going against me. And then I'll hop into a second position. Like, yes, I got a better entry with more money. So I'm always looking for
Yeah.
Actually, even like with this one, Eden, what I like is that it came up, tagged, got our blue line, rejected, came up, tagged it again. It tagged this trend line 3 times.
3 times. That 3 times a favorite number. That's the key number. 3 times. And once you see a tag at 3 times, go in. So yeah, that's not too bad right there. Yeah.
And right there was a close below the 15-minute line. And so actually at this point, now the thing you got to be careful of is that you got this other trend line coming up here. Here's a tag here. If we can get the break, this is the way I would read this one. And tell me if you would kind of agree with that. You already had now we're kind of we're in a wedge right now. So right now, this is the range is trading in between this little pivot here and this little pivot here. But we're looking at this thing to go to the downside. If we get a break if I get a break below this pivot line, and right now this is an energy point. We have a trend line coming up, we had the anchor, here's a hit, here's another hit. If this trend line breaks, then I would be looking at this move right here where we come down, we got the close below, come back up, retest
the trend line and go down. Yes. I agree with you on that one too.
And then we go, and here's target 1 and right here.
Yes.
And every time if it tags here, now this is all 5-minute charts. So the zones here, this is 83 to, and these are only like $2 zones. So with something like gold is that, I'm not sure what your average move size is, but I usually like to have about $5 move on like the indexes and the like gold, things like that. If I were to trade.
$5. Yeah, it's about right. $5. Yeah.
So we got, as I generally don't trade gold, Eden's teaching me how to trade gold.
Hey, I've been trading gold for over a year. It's
You haven't convinced me that you know what you're doing.
Because you don't listen to me. That's why.
Well, that may be true.
A little bit of misogynistic tendencies there, I'm thinking.
Yeah, let's see. Well, we'll see. Right here, like I said, I like this as an energy point right here. This is a trend line. We have a major price line. Get the close below that. And plus this is a nice little move down. I like seeing these strong move downs, and then I like to see the pullback.
Exactly. I always wait on that pullback to get in because a pullback is happening. It just because a chart or markets cannot just go only down and only up. It has to pull back. It has to correct itself. Has to.
But you can see the information. You can see that information right over in here.
Now it's starting to become way more clear. That information is definitely more clearer.
Yeah. And see, we have let's see. So this is a new 5-minute candle right here. So we have about 5 more minutes to wait before we have a decision about what happens with this.
Exactly.
So right now we have the break. We broke the trend line. It seems to be fighting this
whether
little.
Eden's in this yet or not, though.
What's that?
I'm curious as to whether Eden's is in this. Are you in this already, Eden's?
I am, but I'm also waiting for a second position, you know. But I am in this though.
And you got in it way up here.
Yeah, way up there. My entry is actually 1786.10. That is my entry, but I'm hoping to see maybe I get a better entry. Cause I didn't go in with a 2 or 3%. I went in with 1%, but I'm still I'm not mad, but hoping I can get a better entry. Because I'm thinking when it does retest the trend line, it should get back up to, let me see what your line is right there. Go up a little bit higher, Al. Yeah, right there. So around 17, yeah, right there. Like around this area, it should come back up to retest that area right there. Because yeah, right there, or a little bit lower, just a little bit lower, Al.
Right there.
So 17, what is that? 1783. So yeah, it should come back.
1783.
Yeah.
And
that's
I would
when
be
everybody else can get in.
Now here's something. No, okay. You said, all right. I'm gonna mark that. I want to see how close we are here. You said 1783 ish.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Around that. Yep. Right there.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna go and put this thing on a 2-minute mark. And here's our 2-minute fib. There's my 2-minute line right there.
Exactly where you marked it, where he said.
Right there. So you see, you don't even, I mean, it's nice having these little things for confirmation, but it's like, we just eyeballed that, right? Or, well, you were probably looking at a price point on that, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So we should be getting a lot of price action right before market opens. So, it should go right back up. And then once it hits that line right there, and then boom, we all can hop in. I mean, El probably retrace maybe another 2 pips and then go right back down. So we won't be in 15, 20% drawdown. That's the hurt.
Yeah. And this thing, right now we're still waiting for that 5-minute candle to close. But if it pulls back to the 2, I allow myself to take it anywhere between the 2 and the 3, or even at the 2 or at the 3.
Yeah.
And then for me, my target would be my first target would be, this one would be my first target. And then this would be the next target, which is actually right here at your, and that way, that tells you just span this whole 5-minute zone.
Yes. Correct.
So anywhere in this area right here, you could put this as a well, let's just call that an entry zone here. That was a nice little, again, this is right at before the 9 o'clock hour. The market hasn't opened up yet, but this is the pre-market move right here. I actually would have been okay taking this thing off of this bounce. I would have actually been okay taking this thing in the 5-minute, when we got the 5-minute close, which was basically this candle right here, this little red candle right there. That was your 5-minute. With the retrace back towards the 15-minute line, this was the area that I would have been okay taking this thing.
Yeah, but you know how sometimes how gold will move right back up into that trend line and then work back down.
Yeah. Gold's nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. It's great if you can tame it, but
exactly, and it's gonna be great if you're on the right side.
Wherever, forget it.
Exactly.
But this candle right here, this red candle, I'm gonna put an arrow on the candle.
So when will you take your profit on your first position, Edens, when it starts to turn back around?
Yeah, because I do know my Japanese candlesticks. So if I see like a dragonfly forming or something that's
Mhm.
telling me, hey, listen, it's gonna go back, it's gonna retrace back up, then I'll hop back out. But so
Oh,
far right now is just it's just continue going down. I mean, I
This
see
yeah.
is
that
just not.
now it's looking like it might start going back up. It might,
Yeah.
I might even get a bullish engulfing in the 1 minute. I don't know. I'm waiting for that too. If I see a bullish engulfing, I'll be hopping out there too.
This was a pretty strong move right there, wasn't it? That was a pretty strong
Oh, yeah.
move. But this has been the strategies that we kind of teach here. This was the entry right here with a pullback. Now it did. Now now we didn't get that. I was expecting more of a bounce off of this, but we did get a. I don't know if we got the 5-minute close on that. Let me see what 5-minute chart says. I mean, sure we did. Yeah, here's the 5-minute. See, well, in this candle right here, we got the close, the break. Let's span this out here. On our 5-minute chart, we did get this was our 5-minute candle close right here. And right now, still basically waiting for it to pull back. It never pulled back, but this line, still waiting for it to pull back. It could still very easily pull back to this area and then keep on going down.
Oh yeah.
So did anybody jump in this? Anybody in the attendees? Can you give us a one or whatever in the chat, just so we know? Okay, we got Ann in there.
Meanwhile, let me see how my CAD trade's doing. This thing's still just hanging in there. Still just hanging in. Euro US, still waiting on that. Nothing happening there. How about the German 30? Anything with that? You said you had some.
I've not been even looking at it. I've been looking at this.
Okay. So right now with our German 30, see what we have on this here.
We're after 9, Al. Do you know that? We're
What's
after
that?
9 o'clock. We're after 9
Yeah,
o'clock.
I guess we can kind of wrap this thing up. Time gets away from us when we start looking at trades. This goal is just, I would not, again, I'd be looking at this as a target area for right now. If it breaks the 15, it could keep on going down to these next two levels here. These are the next 5-minute levels, and there's and this range right here is $5. That's a $6 range. $2, $4, $6.
All right, RSI is already at 16 or 15 right now, so this is where I'm hopping out. I'm hopping out the gold trade right now, hopping out. So then I'll wait for the retracement to hop back.
Your chart, Edens. I'm really curious as to what.
Yeah, let me stop sharing here. Share your charts there, Eden.
Okay. All right. So and this is where I mean, are you guys seeing my charts?
Yeah,
yes.
We see them.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Here, and I also use TradingView too to so I can have as you guys can tell right here, this is like a short, so it's like a 1 to 1.5 ratio. So this is my stop loss, and this is my take profit. So it hit that take profit, and I'm seeing on the RSI is already hitting 16. It's not. I don't use the RSI on here. I use the RSI on my phone too. So I'm back and forth. I have different charts. But I know you guys don't like to use the phone thing, but it's okay. But
I use both. I'm the same as you. I use them both. Yeah.
Yeah, I use both. So as you can tell right here, like this is a very nice area to where it can bounce, where it should bounce off of this area right here, and it's doing exactly that. It went in, and now it's bouncing out. So take profit. And now it should, like I said, work back up again to most like minimum get to the 20 and then come back down. So now it's just the patient game of being, just waiting it out. It might get back up here by 9:20. So yeah, I know some people might be like, oh my God, let me go long. But yeah, you gotta know it's counter trend, so you gotta be very careful. We're going long right now. But yeah, like it should get up to here and then come right back down. So yeah, just being patient, just waiting out the game right now.
Yeah, that was a really, really good move. Really good move.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Eden. I appreciate your input today, and hopefully we'll see you over into the Hawkeye trade room on on Monday. And
Sure.
everybody else, don't forget, AP Live goes live this weekend and starting on Monday. So we'll be at the AP Live Hawkeye session. Hope to see you then. Until then, stay safe and stay green. We'll see you then.
Yeah,
And thanks for
sure,
being
guys.
here. And thanks again.
Thanks a lot for having me. Thanks.
Oh,
Thanks for coming
it was a
in.
pleasure.
It's great having you. And thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to switch your tools tonight before midnight. And then we'll see you all on Monday.